Welcome to CAF Inform. Thank you so much for joining us again in this session where we're going to be learning about many things, including the environment, which is something that we've been learning for the last few months. And we have a special guest who will be talking about a great topic that you cannot miss. But before we get into that, I want to remind you that if you have not visited our website, go do that. Go to www.mycaf.org and please make sure that you take a look at the programs that we have. We got the first time home buyer seminar, which we have our first time home buying class coming up November 20 and 21. So if you want to take advantage of that, please go to our website and register. And also, if you want to know about the next food distribution, you can find out where it's going to be in the website. And again, if you are looking to participate or be part of any of the programs that CAF provides, just go to our website, www.mycaf.org. Today, we're going to have Daniella Paradise. She's from the Maryland PIRG, and she's going to be interviewed by Sunilda Frias today, who is one of our program coordinator for the environmental health. And she will be asking some questions to Danielle, which I hope is helpful for you to know all the work that is being done in the state of Maryland. So Patricia, Daniel, welcome, and please, to those who are listening, enjoy the interview. Thank you.
Welcome, Daniella, to CAF Informs. We're so happy to have you here. Our audience is eager to learn more about your work, and please introduce yourself and tell us a little more about your work in Maryland PIRG.
Of course. Well, thank you. I'm really glad to be speaking to CAF Informs. Like you said, my name is Daniella Paradise. I work with Maryland Public Interest Research Group, which is Maryland PIRG. We're a local nonprofit that focuses primarily on consumer advocacy and on public interest. So I work on our End the Nicotine Trap campaign, which is our campaign to end the sale of flavored tobacco products in Maryland. I work together with our partners at the Campaign for Tobacco-Free Kids and their affiliates to work on a bill to that effect in Maryland. And I'm in charge of coalition building and grassroots outreach, promoting information and awareness and support for our cause among the public, like I am now.
Thank you so much, Daniella. And I would also ask you about the impact of flavors in tobacco products and how you see it affecting our communities and our children.
Yeah, so we're working on this bill because we're seeing a rise over the last few years generally in the amount that young people, teens, use tobacco products. This is a huge problem. It specifically is focused primarily around e-cigarettes. So the e-cigarette use rate right now among teens is approximately 1 in 4 in Maryland. That's a little higher than the national rate, which is about 1 in 5 teens that use e-cigarettes. This is a huge problem. The reason why it's a huge problem is because these products contain massive amounts of nicotine. They contain sometimes the same amount as a pack of 20 cigarettes. Nicotine is highly addictive, and especially among teens who are not finished developing yet in terms of brain capacity and cognition, it can cause brain changes, rewiring in their moods, in memory loss. It can affect pretty much everything in terms of their cognitive development. It can also increase the risk for heart disease, lung disease, and generally it's just a really, really bad thing to do for your health. And the reason why we're seeing such an uptick in young people using these products is because the tobacco industry targets them specifically with flavored products. So there are approximately 15,000 flavors of e-cigarette out there. And these are products that are very specifically targeted towards kids. So there are flavors like cotton candy, gummy bear, chocolate, creme. So these are flavors that very obviously are candy and dessert flavored. And those are things that are very appealing to kids. And not only that, but these products are designed in such a way that they look sleek. They're like a piece of, technology that is very appealing to kids, like an iPhone. And not only that, but they're made to look like pens or highlighters or USB drives, things that are very easily hidden around parents, and that can be snuck into school. And so the reason for this is simply because they know that kids can be more easily addicted. They can be more easily tricked into trying these products. And it means that they have hooked a new generation of users for life on their products. And not only that, but we know that kids who use e-cigarettes, it's a gateway for them. It means that they're 4 times more likely to start smoking regular cigarettes. So what we have is what the Surgeon General has called an epidemic. We have a health crisis on our hands. And it's because of flavors and e-cigarettes primarily.
Thank you. Thank you so much on that. And I remember that you had said that you wanted to talk a little about menthol specifically.
Yeah, the problem with menthol, for those who don't know, is essentially a minty flavoring that's added to tobacco products. There's actually a little menthol in all tobacco products and all cigarettes, because what a menthol does is essentially make the poison go down easier. It numbs your throat. It makes it easier to inhale. It makes it easier to hold in the aerosol or the smoke for longer. And it means that more nicotine is delivered into your system. So when you smoke menthol products, whether that's menthol cigarettes or menthol e-cigarettes, it means that you are taking in more nicotine and it's much more likely to addict you. And not only that, but we know that people who smoke menthol cigarettes, it's harder for them to quit. So people who smoke e-cigarettes are feeling their effects for longer, and it's harder to get them off those products. And the reason why this is especially important is because menthol cigarettes are targeted towards Black and Brown communities specifically, and they have been for the last 70 years or so. In the 1950s, the tobacco industry essentially discovered that they could target what was then Black communities with advertising for specifically menthol cigarettes. They thought that they could sell those products well for those communities. And what followed was decades of targeted media campaigns, TV ads, magazine ads, sponsored events, sponsoring Black community organizations, Black educational organizations, social groups, to essentially brand menthol cigarettes as the Black cigarette. And this has been highly successful. So 85% of all Black smokers use menthol cigarettes. So they have essentially succeeded. They have addicted the Black population of smokers to menthol cigarettes specifically. And this is obviously a huge problem. It means that Black people are disproportionately affected by these products. And it means that Black people today are more likely to die of tobacco-related causes than any other racial or ethnic group. And 45,000 Black people approximately die every year from tobacco-related causes. All of these deaths are completely preventable. And just as a side note, we also know that right now the Latinx community is the fastest growing market for menthol cigarettes. So this is not an accident. This is a highly targeted and deliberate predatory targeting of Black and Brown communities. And it's very easy to see. If you go to a predominantly Black community, the price of cigarettes, and specifically menthol cigarettes, is oftentimes cheaper, significantly cheaper than it is in a nearby white neighborhood. So all of this is to say that when we talk about taking flavored tobacco products off the market in Maryland or anywhere else in the country, we want to include menthol products when at all possible, because menthol products specifically are disproportionately affecting Black and Brown communities and making it an issue that affects marginalized people.
Thank you so much on that, about that information. I honestly didn't know just how, I guess, insidious the menthol targeting was. And it's very interesting to hear about. Now, well, another question that I had is if you could talk to me a little more about the bill that y'all are supporting, and who is, who's involved, as well as who you want to be involved.
Thank you for that. So, like I said, our bill is about taking all flavored tobacco products off the market. It's what's called a comprehensive bill. I think what's important, especially to note about this bill, is that we're coming after retailers, and we want it to not be an issue where people are afraid to be using these products. We want it to be something where vape shops are, the people who are selling these products and who are responsible for selling these products are the ones who are getting fined. So that's very important to us. And more than that, we want to engage the community and have community support behind this, because we know that community opinion is on our side. So my organization, Maryland PIRG, is, like I said, working together with the Campaign for Tobacco-Free Kids. We're the primary leadership on this. But more than that, we're looking for other local organizations like us to stand together against this. So we're so glad that CAF is part of this project. We're also specifically looking for faith groups, clergy members, community leaders of all kinds to come together. I think what's really important about this issue is that people from all across different communities and different places in Maryland and in our state can come together over this, because this affects everyone. This is about the health of all our children and about all our communities. So there's no one who can say this doesn't apply to me, because even if you are not a smoker, even if your child doesn't use these products, you know someone who this affects. And not only that, but it's about the strain on all of our communal resources, health-wise, and it's about caring for each other. So in that sense, we're looking for all different groups of people as well as individuals to stand behind this. So this bill is going to be introduced next year at the start of the legislative session in January. And before that, we want as many people involved to talk to each other about this and to come together behind this. And that especially includes coming to our events. So we'll be holding a couple town halls. The one that will be in PG County and the Southern County specifically is going to be December 17th. That is a great way for people in the community to come together, listen to speakers, listen to people who these products have harmed, listen to what their legislators think about this, and learn more about how they can be involved in this.
I had one last question, and it's concerning COVID. So I wanted to ask you about the risk factors, with the youth and contracting COVID if they are using tobacco products.
I'm glad that you asked that. I'm glad that you specifically asked about COVID, because there's pretty much nothing worse that you could be doing for yourself than affecting your lungs and your respiratory system during a time of a pandemic for a respiratory illness. Right now, the CDC guidelines say that adults who smoke or have a history of smoking are adding an increased risk for severe illness at COVID-19. And the link between that and e-cigarettes, the implications for people who use vapes, is extremely alarming. There's also been some recent work done in, I think, May, about how people who use e-cigarettes specifically are 5 times more likely to contract COVID. So regardless, these times are not the times when you should be smoking. If you're smoking or using e-cigarettes, quit and don't start if you're not. That's really all there is to say. We're going to be holding a couple of town halls, which are really about showing people and teaching people what this bill and what this issue is all about. So for the Baltimore area, we're going to have a digital town hall that's December 15th at 7 p.m. And you can go to our website, flavorshookkidsmaryland.org, to find out more, or follow us at social media. We're at Tobacco Free MD on Facebook and Twitter. And for the Southern counties and PG County, it's going to be December 17th at 7 p.m. That's the date of the town hall. And more than that, I encourage you to go to our website, because we have a form available there where you can send a pre-written letter to your state legislators telling them to support this legislation when it comes on their desk. That, more than anything, is going to be really helpful. All right, well, I think that the reason why we don't want to advocate for just a tax on e-cigarettes and these products is because, yes, kids are very price sensitive for these products. And yes, one of the reasons why they're using them is because they're very cheap. But I think that the problem with the tax is that then kids are still using these products and you're raising tax money at the expense of young people's health. And that's not worth any price.
Thank you. So I would like you, you know, to say goodbye to our audience, and also to thank you for coming here and, you know, spreading awareness on this issue.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to thank you. I want to thank CAF. I want to thank everyone who's watching for letting me come on here and speak about this issue. And like I said, this is something that affects every person, you and me, and all of us need to stand together against big tobacco to make sure that this stops and to protect our kids.
Well, thank you so much. This was a great information. Don't forget to share this with your friends, with your family. If you haven't, co-workers or community members, make sure that you can share this great information that it was just shared today. I hope to see you next Thursday. So please don't forget to tune in and share this information and come back again next Thursday, the same time, same place. I look forward to seeing you. Thank you again for listening and for being part of CAF Informs today. Until next time. Bye-bye.